Calibration no longer required, and welcome to another episode of Important Channel Updates with CharFox. That's me. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it has been a while. Now, I currently do not have internet, so by the time you see this, it'll probably have been a long time since I recorded it. But I would like to get these things out of the way first so that when internet does come and I can enable access to all my library of information and stuff, then we can just keep on going and not have to make any pauses to do these videos. So let's get started. Updates. As you may or may not know by now, Puerto Rico, which is the island in which I live right now, was hit in September by two hurricanes. The first one being Irma, did a lot of damage, and recovery was fairly quick from that one. But then Maria came along, and it hit us pretty hard. It hit us pretty hard to the point where the a lot of electrical systems, the grid itself, access to roads, trees, and there was a lot of destruction because of obstructions to the roads and the the already crippled system ended up dying, and we were without power for like almost, see, September, October, November, December, near this. I think it was like until the 17th or so that we got our power back. So we also were without power since Irma, so that brings it up to like around 5 months more or less, and it was tough. It really was. Um, I don't know if my math is right. I'm trying to think this through while I'm talking. I should really work on doing scripts, but I don't know. I just like turning on the camera and just going. But okay, let me give you exact numbers. Let me think about this really quick. So, Irma came on September uh, between the 10th and the 20th, and then Maria came along a couple of weeks after that, or like 3 or 4. It took us a month to get services back, and then, so you know what, let's just call it September, October, November, and December. So 4 months. That's the best way to do it, because literally after Irma we got power back for like a week, and then internet came back for one day. And then the day after Maria came, it was terrible. It really was. It was like, hey, tease. Okay, no more. But it was tough. The hardest things that we were facing, besides the lack of power, was mostly focused on food. Food was an issue because we had no way of storing our food, and therefore we had to resort to dry goods like pasta, rice, or canned foods like Chef Boyardee, like pasta and beans. Um, so that became the what you call it, the word I'm looking for is the main source of our nutrition. There you go. It's not really a word, it's more like a statement, but it became the main source of our nutrition. Canned foods and dry goods, our vegetable intake just dropped. Our fruit intake also dropped, and it was really tough. And because of this, at least for me, I honestly feel that it was no good. Anyway, I think, you know what, I can organize this better. I have pictures of the hurricane aftermath that I would like to share with you guys, so I'm going to put those on screen before I go on to other topics. So, I'm not going to do it. Well, I should do it now. I don't know how I'm going to work this, but not to worry. We will. I'll just add it. I'll add the pictures post editing, or in editing, post recording. There we go. So let's just put that there. All right. So Right. So let's get started. Let me just pull down this window here, and that should be a good size. All right, so let's get started. All the pictures have been organized by date and time. You can see that up here in the top left corner. So this was immediately after Hurricane Irma. So this is inside one of the military facilities in the perimeter fence line. That's some of my employees working to tear down some of the trees that fell on top of the perimeter fence line and damaged the structure. And those are some of the vehicles that we use, loading up tree parts. A tree in progress of being cut up in smaller pieces. More cutting in progress. That was an abandoned car that was there before the storm. This is some of the damage to the extent of the perimeter fence line. This is a larger tree that fell on top of the fence line. And all of this is during Irma, which took place on September the 8th. Or after Irma, September the 8th. Maybe not immediately after, maybe like a couple of days after Irma. More chopping up in progress. This is from the outside. Some trash that's there with some cars parked on the outside of the perimeter. More trees. Fallen trees inside the tree line. This is a hanging stoplight. It's still operational. It's hanging by the power wire connected to the support. This is it looks like a hawk that I saw and I took a picture of. Fallen palm trees on top of structures, broken down trees. You know what this needs? I'm gonna add some royalty-free music. Gripping music. Let's go here. What do we got? Okay, those are short. Those are 16 seconds. Let's make it longer. Let's do 150. What we got? Hot. No, that sounds too creepy. Let's go. No, it's too upbeat for hurricanes. Hey, this one could work. I like that one. Trapped and stuck. All right. Alright, so let's leave that... No, what did I do? Yeah, let's leave that playing in the background, so let's continue. Okay, so this is more damaged trees. This is a flooding that happened. I have a hard time hearing myself now. Let me lower the volume really quick. Okay, that's better. Sorry about that. So, this is a corner that has a four-way stop. All the water just pooled in this area, and here is a water cistern that blew off from the roof that was up here to this house. This is another angle. You move in a little bit more and the road converges. Everything converges down here and you have a pooling of water. This is, if you go up this road, eventually you get to this corner right here. And the gas station and everything was flooded. All the gas, I think it suffered water contamination. So this gas station had a hard time getting things back operational. This is damage on the road, or fallen trees blocking the road and the path, people trying to get through and around it. Here we have more trees on the road, more trees on the road. Some fallen power lines as well. This was an aquarium where all the glass windows just blew out. It's pretty sad. Yeah, more fallen trees, broken fence line on top of the house. This is a sign that belongs to the gas station, which is over here. More fallen trees that fell from the top of the house on the roof and then down to the road. More fallen trees. The majority of damage was mostly fallen trees and the hanging stoplights, and they're all crooked and bent out in different directions, as well as them covering the road. These are bamboos that got bent and broke in half during the wind. Now, before let me see. This was a car that got blown into a river. Story behind it is not quite 100% concrete as to what exactly happened, but according to the people that live around the area, they say that they heard when the wind was picking up. Let's put that song again just to keep it in the background, just to have something in the background. They heard like a large bang noise, like kapow, and then they heard scratching, and then eventually a big splash. Nobody came out until the next day. When they did come out, they checked the car, and thankfully there was nobody inside at the time. Now, they don't know if somebody was driving it or not, or if it just got blown from the side of the road, but it's very unlikely. It's more likely that somebody was driving it, because there was, according to them, there was no cars parked on the side of the road. That is where I'm standing from taking the picture. Fallen McDonald's signs, fallen trees, trees pulled out of the ground, breaking up the sidewalks, roads blocked off with cars trying to go through, fallen trees, more fallen trees, roads blocked off. This is the one of the banks here in Puerto Rico. It has 2 blown out windows and some structural damage on the top. This is a highway heading towards the south of Puerto Rico, and this scene, it's really eerie because in Puerto Rico we don't have fall, so the trees don't lose their leaves. So for us to see this like that is very weird, and you know, it literally looks like a bomb of sorts went off, and then all the leaves just blew away, because almost no trees were left with leaves on that day after the hurricane came through. So you see, it's also like dry and stick-like, which is really uncommon here in Puerto Rico. You can see things that you were not able to see before, and it was just really eerie, really strange. It's like coming into a different country, but you just left your house. Going down the highway towards the south of Puerto Rico, more trees, fallen trees, more fallen trees, and sides of the mountain with damages to the trees and other things. Let's try to change the song. What do we got? Well, this one's long. Let's do this one. And what did I pick? Nice hip-hop song. Alright. So yeah, we have fallen trees on the road, and then here, from this point forward, the rest of the highway was blocked off. So we had to actually drive on the opposite side of the highway. As you can see, the cars are taking a detour here to the left and getting on the opposite lane. This is another city from the south of Puerto Rico, Ponce. We have a tree that just got ripped off from the road, lifted up the sidewalk and everything with it. Fallen trees. The majority of the damage was fallen light poles and fallen trees. Fallen trees were just the majority of things. A water cistern here. Fallen signs, blocked off roads, broken down trees. People sometimes had a hard time leaving their houses because there was trees blocking off their exit ways or the small roads that connect to people's houses. People just couldn't get through them. This palm tree got impaled here with the the bar that supports the fence. Um, Bonus if you saw it. Here's a concrete pole that got torn down. Here's a better shot of it. The concrete pole just came down and got smashed. This is a zinc roof and structure where cars used to be parked. Completely obliterated. Branches that are piled up from our cleaning efforts in the facilities. More branches. This little shack got pushed from over here all the way to here. It used to be sitting right next to the other one and then got pushed that far forward. Lines from people in the banks. This is actually really light. This was a couple of days after the hurricane. This is around on October 2nd. The lines are starting to go down, but still in the beginning the lines were just, no joke, half a mile of people just standing in line, circling around the building 2 or 3 times and then just going down the road because there's no more space for them, just to be able to withdraw money, because the card system to buy things, to pay with your cards, was not working. It was only cash, and it was just such, it was difficult. It was difficult and challenging to get things going. Debris. This is the structure that got the roll-up door destroyed, and part of the roof got blown out. This became the entrance to the area. This is the inside. So the roof and the filling and the insulation just got blown away. Different angles from the same side. This is a tree that fell on top of. I don't think it's on top of the car. I think the car is just behind it, but this is a fallen tree. This is an antenna, communication antenna that got unearthed and fell on top of the structure that's parallel to me, and it's leaning on it. I just took a picture of it. Unearthed trees that got pulled up, not pulled up, but the wind was strong enough to unroot it from the ground. And those are thick trees. I mean, look at all those roots just driving into the earth, and it just got pulled up from the ground. And if it wasn't able to pull it up, it would break the branches or the large trunks of the trees. Um, Flooding going on over here, and structures, more flooding, and yeah, just a lot of destruction. I'm guessing because the soil got soft because of the flooding, it was strong enough to then pull down the trees and break it down. Bad pictures. Yeah, fallen branches, unearthed trees. This one just ripped through the fence and took some of the fence with it as well. 2 fallen trees here. A lot of branches. This fell on top of this was a security shack that just got crushed by the trees when it fell down. Thankfully nobody was inside standing watch or anything like that. Broken gate. This was a security gate from the front door that just got crushed by a tree. Another fallen tree, unearthed fallen tree. Over here, this is in Saba. This is close to, this is actually where the old base Roosevelt Roads used to be. This was actually a normal cyclone fence, but the debris and the trash and whatever residue floating in the water by the pier, by the docks, the water swelled up high enough to come into the land, and all that junk and all that debris just pressed against the fence, creating a barrier that allowed the water to exert force on the fence and just break it down, and then all that water flooded in here, and it just completely demolished all the concrete foundations of everything. This is rocks that were there. It's not part of the fence, but at least these parts were. It also broke down some poles that were there and leaned over others over. This is an exit concrete tube for a drain, stormwater drain that leads to the ocean. And due to all the movement of water, it caused a bit of erosion and a little bit of a landslide here. This is traces of all the junk that came from the ocean that got pressed against the cyclone fence. Um, the water came. This is right next to the ocean, and that ocean is probably from where this picture is being taken. Is probably around, man, I would say around 800 to 1,000 feet away, and the water came all the way inside and pressed against this fence as well, and just crushed it over and kept on pouring in. So this whole area got flooded with water, and I think, yep, that's the last picture. So those are all the pictures that I got. I got more, but these are the ones that are safe for you to see because the other ones have some sensitive information on them that I can't really quite release. But that's that. A lot of damage, a lot of bad stuff happened down here, and those are the pictures. We lost power. Um, Food was an issue. Water was an issue for a while, but after like maybe 2 weeks or so, some stores started to open back up and water was being sold at stores. Also, there were some what they call oasis stations where there's a water truck that provides water, potable water for people. Um, we never went to those. Call me, call us, because my wife is in the same mindset. But not high maintenance or anything like that, but we just have a higher degree of concern for our health and well-being, so to say. And while I know that that water is safe for consumption, I don't know how it is that it was done or whatever. I trust a bit more bottled water because it comes from a facility from the States usually, and they have their degrees of standards and health and regulation. Potable water, and considering the crisis that the water service, the water treatment facilities were offline for the longest time, and another form of factors, fuel. Fuel was a huge problem. Oh my gosh, it literally felt like we entered the modern day apocalypse of just scarcity. No resources, no nothing. It was just so hard in the beginning to obtain fuel for your vehicle. And and it really was tough. It was tough because there was so many factors affecting everything in a gen in just it was just badly organized. All right, I'll walk you through the timeline so you have an idea. So it started off, the hurricane got announced. Hey, Irma's coming. Heads up. And as people that take care and precautions, we started prepping up. Some better than others, but in my opinion, during the Irma crisis, people ran to the stores. People started just grabbing whatever they could off their shelves. They were buying everything. They bought all the fruits, all the vegetables, some canned goods, water, especially the water. People were constantly drinking off, or not drinking off, taking off all the water and just putting things in their carts. And you would see people with like two carts pushing around the store, and it was just chaotic in a way, which is hard to understand in a way because we know we've been here, we've seen hurricanes. Maybe because we haven't seen a hurricanes for such a long time that people got really extra concerned this once, and it was announced as a really high record-breaking hurricane, and that created a lot of fear in people, and they're like, oh man, this is going to be bad. So let's just get everything we can get, and that's what people did because of that sudden spike in demand, sort of in consumption and purchasing. The stores became, you know, hindered in a way that they just didn't have enough supplies, and the logistics of bringing in new merchandise wasn't quite set up properly. So Irma was the precursor of the scarcity situation. Same thing with fuel stations. People would run to the gas stations, fill up their car, fill up the other car, fill up the car that they haven't driven in 2 weeks, fill up the car that they have from the neighbor that has moved away to the States for like 2 years now. But just in case those three cars run out of fuel, four cars run out of fuel, let's fill up this car too. And cars that have never seen road for the longest time, and you can tell because the car is like falling apart. Those cars would get fueled up. Everybody was getting fueled up, and it started. The volume on the street, on the gas stations, started dropping really fast. And added to that, then you have people that bring in like five gas containers, six gas containers, and besides the car collection of cars that have never seen road, they're also filling up all these containers. So the demand and the consumption of fuel is just skyrocketing, and everything is just dropping, and the commercers, the businesses, and everybody else was not properly prepared for this situation. So all of the resources, everything just depleted for Irma. And I mean, you could go to Home Depot if you wanted to like shutter up your windows. You can go to Home Depot, and there was just no boards left. All the wooden boards were gone. The only things that were left were like the expensive PVC boards, which is what sadly we ended up getting. We waited a little bit too long. I I felt comfortable. I was like, okay, class five, it's gonna be bad, but it's not gonna be destruction, massive doom and despair bad. So I kind of like leaned on it, but my wife got concerned and she's like, "Are you sure about this?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. I think we'll be okay. But you know what? Let's get some boards just in case." Actually, she was the one that got the boards. She got them just in case, and they were expensive because nobody was buying the expensive things. They're like almost $30 for 40 times uh, 8 times 2, 6, 8, 7, 96. 40 times 96. I think it's the measurements. It's 4 feet and 8 feet. There you go. It's 4 feet wide, 8 feet long boards. So we boarded up the windows, we boarded up the sliding doors, we boarded up things just in case. And I'm so sorry, goodness. Oh, never mind. Missed call. So, um, we boarded up all the things, and Irma came, and it was windy, very windy. Unlike Maria, Irma was a wind based hurricane. There was just winds and winds and winds, and and then it ended. Power went out. Here's the weird thing with Irma. With Irma, power went out like a day before it even arrived, which was strange. And and the same thing happened with Maria actually, now that I think about it. Power just it's like they were like, okay, well, we don't know what's going to happen, so let's just turn off power before it gets here. And that's something I've always noticed in Puerto Rico. When hurricanes are coming or when something's coming, power gets shut down. But then, I think I watch all the news coverage of other places in the smaller islands like St. Thomas or whatever other small islands, and you can see the street lights still have power and other parts and houses have power. And I've always wondered why can't you just leave the power turned on, and if in case something happens, they have protection devices that will prevent the system from suffering electrical damage. They have overloading protection. They have fuses on the lines in case of a short. They have overload protections on every interval before it reaches the substation. Um, so they have the things, but it's like they actively choose to shut it down just to play it safe. And then the problem is to turn it back up, it's another problem because the system is so old that it takes time to actually bring up the momentum in the turbines and bring up the momentum in the pressures and get things going. And then we're talking about like it takes them around like 24 to 48 hours more or less to start the system going until it reaches some sort of minimum requirement levels before they can do a transfer over and energize the grid. or at least the sections of the grid one by one. And the more speed it keeps building up in the turbines and the generators, the more grids and the more sections they can start connecting, creating more load on the system. And then it has to keep on revving up and charging up the system itself. So that's Irma. Power went out. It sucked. All the food in the fridge spoiled. We tried to eat as much as we could, not all at once, but like okay, well for dinner we're gonna have all the things in the fridge. For breakfast the next day we're gonna have the vegetables and the stuff in the fridge, and then for lunch we're gonna have the leftovers from the other day that a week ago or whatever. And we're just trying to consume all the things in the fridge first before it goes bad. But it lasted like I think it was like 3 to 4 days before one morning. It's like, okay, it's time to clean the fridge. And then we just emptied out everything and just we cleaned it. We know it's been a while since we cleaned the fridge, so we just cleared out everything, cleared up the fridge, and called it good. And then we switched over to canned goods. Now, during this incident is when I had the worst time that I can think of in my life. Now, it was bad. It was really bad because my salt level was too high. Now, I'm trying to find a place to start my story, but I keep going further back, and I'm afraid it's gonna make it's gonna give my signature timestamp on this video of like an hour or something. But I'm trying to make this short. It's an update video, and to give you guys an idea of what happened. But let's start over from. Hmm. All right. I'll try to do a brief summary. I've been. No, I gotta go back here. Okay. In case you didn't know it, CharFox was in the military. Let's start there. Um, I used to be fit. I used to be in good shape, and it was a good experience. I think. Give me 1 second. All right. So let's see. Let's see how I can make this work. Hold on 1 second. All right. These are old. Let me just hold on. I got this, guys. I'm sorry. I'll make this work. Okay. Let's see. All right. So here's CharFox. I don't know. Let me zoom in here. Look at that guy. Look at that guy. All right, so that's CharFox way back then. And I think I have a close up of that picture on here. Let me see. This is CharFox. There's another shipmate. All right. That's when I used to be a seaman. I used to be a man of the sea. And in case you're wondering, my branch of service, it was the Coast Guard. I was in the Coast Guard until I was. Let me cover my name here. Da, 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 da. Uh-huh. I got my honorable discharge from the United States Coast Guard. There you go. Da, 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 da. All right. So I was in the military, and I used to be in shape. I used to be fit, and I was able to run. I hate running. I hated it then. I hate it now, and I'm pretty sure I'll hate it in the future. Running is like the I hate it. I can't find that passion that people get when they run. Because I remember in basic training, there was this guy that, man, this is turning out to be a life story video, but I'll just roll with it. So here we go. In basic training, in basic training, I went through basic training during the months of November, December, and then we graduated on January, right? Which was close to my birthday. My birthday is in November. So here's what happened. During those months, the basic training center is in Cape May, New Jersey, right? So during that time, it was really cold, and when I got there, it wasn't snowing, but like a couple of days later, it did. And it stayed snowy, cold, with a lot of rain, frozen rain, which I think they call sleet, which is the worst. The worst. Like, it's raining high speed projectiles to your face all the time. It's horrible. But, all right, so I went through there during that time. Because of the temperature and because of the climate, it was really hard for the the uh the the company commanders to do company runs, right? So I mean, I got so lucky. I counted my blessing stars. I'm like, we don't have to run during the whole time we're here. This is great. I love it. Because I'm sorry, I do not like running. All right. And all right, so I went to basic training. Now, I may have I may have cheated slightly on the physical exam, because they take your weight. I weighed a little bit around 225 pounds at the time. And my ideal weight at the time was supposed to be around 215, right? Since I'm over that limit, what they do, they take your body mass index and they measure your body and they determine how much your body fat you have based on your height and your measurements, right? And so when they're measuring around my belly, I kind of like sucked it in a little bit. I did a little tuck, like, and the doctor, or I think it was a nurse at the time when we were over there, the nurse kind of noticed and she's like, "Okay, can you take a deep breath for me?" And I'm like, "Okay." Deeper, deeper, hold it. Okay, now let it go. Immediately, I realized what the point of that was. So I played along and I kind of like, I let it all go at once, but I stopped myself halfway. I'm like, and I let air keep going out, but I kind of like froze my stomach muscles. And the tape expanded, and she's like, huh? All right. All right, so you measured this much, and your body BMI index is this much, and okay, you're good to go. You're just a big framed guy. And I'm like, okay. Right, so I knew at the time I was slightly overweight. And I cheated my way into the system. I'm sorry, I'm apologizing and I'm admitting it online, but it's true. Um, so when basic training happened, um, it was just, what was the person? I lost track of why I was telling you this. Oh, because I was healthy back then. All right, I'm coming back. Gears are going back in. I clutched in for a second there. Um, okay, so and then during the whole basic training sequence, eating 3 times a day, exercise most of the time. While there was no running allowed, they still beat us with push ups and sit ups and other forms of physical training. Yeah, it was interesting. I can tell you all of this later on. The point that I'm trying to convey here is that I got really fit in basic training. I got really fit, like to the point where I never seen my body in that shape before that time. And because of that, because of that, it's something that it stayed with me. Like, wow. I still remember the day. I went into the bathroom, took a shower. It was late. I was on my own because we just finished. I was one of the, I was the team being relieved from night watch. And on my way out, I go to the showers, and on my way out of the showers, I pass by the mirror, and I'm only wearing my towel, and I kind of like I'm sleepy, I'm tired, and I look at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, wow, kind of look good. Wow, hey, not bad, CharFox. And then I kept on walking, and I'll always remember that experience. And well, after basic training, of course, you tend to gain a little bit of weight because you're not so active anymore. Your food intake stays the same more or less, but you're not exercising as much. So I did gain a little bit of weight, but it wasn't crazy. All right. I finished my tour. I did other things with my life, went to places, and yeah, I just did things. And eventually I started gaining more and more weight. And I really went far off track for this point that I'm trying to get to, but we're gonna get there now. I'm bringing it back in. I'm pulling myself back in. I'm really I'm really sorry about that. Me and my tangents, goodness. Um, all right, so I gained weight, but it wasn't that extreme. I went from the two. Oh, I left basic training around 202, 202 pounds. After I got out, after I did my things, and I started going to college after a long time, and then whatever, started working. When I started working, I've let myself go a lot. I was around 250 at the time. And then I started working for that one company when I started making these videos about a year or two ago. Almost, I don't remember now. But I was working for that other company and I was active, so I stayed myself between 250 and 260. After that, I started working for this company that I'm working now. And while I'm not as active that I'm outside walking all the time, I do go out every now and then, but it's not what it was before. Every day I wake up, every day I'm on the road, every day I'm at facilities, working with equipment and doing other things. It's this job is a bit more sedentary because I'm usually behind the computer and I'm typing and I'm filing reports and I'm sending out emails and I'm receiving information, printing out forms, faxing out documents, and it's more office related work. And and it made me raise from 260-ish to like 270 to 75, right? And that was my weight before the hurricanes. Now I'm weighing 300 pounds. And never in my life would I have thought that I would weigh 300 pounds. Not my highlight, my highest point was 307.6. That was my highlight on my weight. And that for me was like, wow, I've never thought I see the day because I don't weigh myself every day. It's just like one of those random moments I'm in the bathroom, doing whatever, um, in the toilet, standing, number one. And when I finish and whatever, the weight scale is like a step next to the toilet. Uh, and I'm like, I wonder how much I weigh today. And I walk over there and I stand on it, and then boom, there's that big number, and I'm like, geez, what has happened? But anyway, I feel that my health has like deteriorated a lot since the Coast Guard days. But I can't be like, oh, this happened yesterday. It's been through a lapse of time, a long time. But during Irma, was here's here I almost brought it back in. This is the point where I diverged, Irma was the point where I experienced one of the most painful experiences in my life. I mean, I've had painful experiences before, trust me. I'm accident prone. Bad things happen to me. And but that this one incident in Irma was just I've never felt pain like that. And I'll tell you what it is. It's so much high salt levels in my body because I was eating canned food and pasta and whatever whatnot, all that unhealthy eating. No vegetables in there to help out, no fruits to help out. Because of this, my salt levels created a kidney stone in my body, and it was bad. I mean, I felt it when it started. And I remember I was sitting outside and I'm talking with my wife, and I start feeling uncomfortable, like there's something in my lower back, and it feels like there's a muscle, a large hand-sized muscle that's like a little bit twisted and uncomfortable. And every time you like bend forward or stretch up or whatever, you feel this muscle just like it's there and it's like laid right on top of your kidney. And you feel that it's right there. And it's like, and you kind of like feel like it's like I don't know how to explain it, but imagine the sound of a rope, like when you pull on a rope, that classic sound of when you pull on a rope. Imagine that, but like covered with layers of flesh. I'm sorry, but flesh, and then like it's like wrapped. Imagine that, but back there, and it was in my right kidney over here. So it's there now. I was like, something feels uncomfortable. Oh, I don't feel like it's supposed to be that way. Oh, oh, oh. And that was around 10 in the morning. Time went on, and then it just started getting worse around 4 in the afternoon. And by that time, around 4:30, I was bedridden. I couldn't walk. I couldn't bend over. I couldn't do anything. It was so painful. And the pain had evolved from that uncomfortable tension, something's not quite right sensation into you have this badly molded ball, because when you mold something, the seam of the two things is usually around, but imagine that seam, but like, and instead of it being symmetrical, it was like slightly misaligned, and then again misaligned, and it was just this object inside of you that was there, and every small movement or whatever would make the object kind of like expand and then contract, and it was just so painful. And you have this constant sensation that you have to go to the bathroom to do number one, and it just you force yourself to go to the bathroom, and you get there and you're like, oh, I just got to, uh, uh, uh," and nothing comes out, only like a drop or two, and it's so painful. And I remember I had to like sit down on the toilet, and I'm sitting there and I'm trying to like make it happen, but it's not happening. And then all of a sudden I got that copper flavor in my mouth, and I just puked. I puked all over the floor, all over myself, all over the bathtub. It was horrible because the pain, and I've never had that before. I never had that happen before. The pain was so intense that I just puked all over myself in the bathroom, and it was a mess. And then we didn't have water at the time because, Irma had happened recently. We didn't have power at the time. It was a disaster. Now, a lot of the hospitals were full, and I did not feel at all like sitting in an emergency room with like 100 people in front of me making turns for them to go in and see me. And it's just, I couldn't bear it. I told my wife, babe, you gotta you gotta find something because home remedy something. And she did. She looked up online on her phone. She was like looking through whatever options she could find, and there was an article about lemons. And she's like, "I'm gonna go get you lemons." And she took on the quest to look for lemons in a hurricane torn island. And she succeeded. She brought home 6 lemons. She squeezed them all in a juice. She just poured the pure lemon juice in a glass, and she gave it to me with a straw. And I'm laying on the bed, and I'm like all covered in puke, and it was bad. It was really bad. And then I take it in my mouth, and I just swallowed the whole thing. And it's interesting because it started off really sour, and as I kept drinking, it started getting sweet. A weird something happened with my taste buds, but so it started getting really sweet at the end, and I was like, did you put sugar in it? Because the end was really sweet. And she's like, no, it's just lemon. And I was like, okay, all right. And then after that, I was laying there. And then, like an hour or 2 hours later, it's like that misshapen object started shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. And the pressure started, you know, subsiding. And it kept on shrinking and shrinking and shrinking until eventually it returned to that uncomfortable knot sensation. And then even that little by little started unraveling itself and kind of like giving away. And then I was hit with even a stronger urge to go to the bathroom. So I kind of like start getting out of bed, and I feel tender, not pain, but like tender, like I'm bruised, like if somebody just punched me really hard in my kidney. And I'm like, oh, and I go to the bathroom, and then it felt like somebody just put up this wire brush cleaning thing, and it was bad. It was really bad. I'm sorry for being so graphic, but it was bad. It was scary. It was because there was a lot of blood and like stuff. And but it happened. It ended. It finally ended. And ever since then, I've been severely limiting my salt intake, and so far I'm doing okay. But that happened during Irma, and it was bad. It was such a bad experience, but it happened, and I survived, and we're here today. And now you know the story. But I don't know. Oh yeah, updates. So yeah, there's a reason I'm telling you this story because I've thought about things, but we'll talk about it in a little bit. So that was my health situation at the time. Then Maria comes along, and it sent us all back to the Stone Age in a way because no power, no internet, water was down for a long time in the beginning, and it was a bad experience as well. But I like to see a lot of the positive in things. I like to look for the silver linings, so to say. And during that time, I saw something that I hadn't seen in a long time, and it was people coming out. People out of their homes, out of their residences, and people coming together as communities and sharing with each other and interacting with each other and just everybody coming out. After Maria happened, the roads were devastated. It was almost impossible to go through roads because the trees, everything was covered in trees, and all the main roads and small roads and even the highways, they were just blocked and inaccessible. But instead of waiting for the government or for agencies to come in and start clearing up the debris, people came out of their homes and started taking to these situations and cutting up their trees. Who has a chainsaw? I do. We need machetes. We need to start cutting down these branches. And people took to the streets and started helping with the cleanup process, habilitating some of the roads to create access to other points. People need to see their families to see if they're okay. Phone systems were down. There was no landlines, no cell phones. There was just no form of communication except for maybe handheld radios, but nobody really has that nowadays. I do, but hello, and nobody's there to answer, so it's pretty pointless. It's really useful when my wife goes out and we can stay in touch. But other than that, there's no way to communicate with other people. The radio stations, a lot of them were shut down because of the towers. They got affected. Some of them were destroyed. I remember I turned on the radio and I'm looking for something and I can't find anything. And eventually I came to this station that had this like warbling noise, like wah, 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 wah. And I'm like, oh, hey, there's a signal here. What's going on? And then I heard a guy talking. Yes, we're here at the station. I'm trying to make this work. I got my cell phone here with me. I'm going to see if I can patch some calls to see whoever can reach. If you need to send messages or have some sort of communication, you guys can reach. So hold on a second. Let me see how I plug this in. And the guy, from what I understood from what was sounding like, he sounded like he was literally putting up the speaker of his phone up to the transmitter because he was in the basement connected directly into the transmitter box. So he was holding his phone and it sounded very tinny. The people that were calling in, and they were like, "Oh, this is a message for my mom. I'm trying to get a hold of this. We're trying to call you. Please let us know you're okay." And a lot of people started pouring in messages, and it felt really humanizing in a way that it was no more about the radio station and their pre-made shows and the little adverts and like the intros. You know how they have the little bop, 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 welcome to whatever station, coming at you live or whatever. It was not there. It was just a guy at the radio tower with his cell phone trying to patch calls so that people can hear each other through radio waves. And that was really humanizing for me. It felt like, wow, this is the power, the positive side of the human nature. And it really was something. Um, that was the only station that was operational right after the crisis, after Maria. Um, yeah, so we got set back. I say to the Stone Age, that's too much. It was more like we got set back between 40 to 20 years ago. During the time where kids would go outside to play, during the times where neighbors knew each other, during the time when people knew who the person that lives next to you was. And because before, pre-hurricane, it wasn't like that. Pre-hurricane, I would come home and I'm inside the house, usually on the computer or whatever. If I have to go out, it's either to pick up my son from school or go to one of the facilities and visit the site, do an overview or whatever. And but we got set back. There's no more electronics, no more TV, no more internet, no more computers, no more cell phones, no more nothing. And that got taken away. And as human beings, we kind of like all came together and we made our own form of entertainment. Now I personally know all my neighbors here, people that I have never seen before. And we've been living here for like 3 years. People that I've never seen before, we know their names now. It turns out around this area, there's at least 9 kids that none of us knew existed. We only knew about one because he was like in the next building, literally in the next building. It turns out there's 7 more kids. There we go. 7 more kids. And, everybody started coming out. All the kids were outside riding their bicycles and playing. It was so beautiful. It's one of the positive things that these hurricanes brought to this island. And there was people outside bringing out chairs, bringing out tables, and talking, socializing, talking about, hey, you know, what's going on with this? How are you doing? Oh, you do this? Oh, I do this. Oh, that's so cool. And it really was a beautiful thing, and it makes you question, how deeply invested we are into technology in a way. But I guess it needed to happen because even though we have power back and we have access to like watching TV if you have a satellite dish, or if you have your cell phone, some of the cell phone networks are back operational. Um, Mine is so. I mean, I'll show you the quality. Let me clear the screen here. All right, so I got like in here I have like you know 2 bars of 3G, and you know it helps. It allows you to connect to the internet, but it's not having internet in your house. But regardless, you're still able to access things on the phone. For example, I started posting on my Twitter when the signal allows it to go through. And I can get involved. I answered comments not too long ago about all the comments that came in through my email. I checked all my emails and I was going through all the comments that came in and answering the comments on the phone. So I'm able to connect to the internet. Not as fast as I would like, but it's still an access. But I'm getting tracked here, sidetracked. What I'm trying to say is we're slowly getting the things back, but still we say hi to each other outside. We interact with each other. Sometimes at nighttime, we can sit outside, talk with each other, share a couple of beverages. Um, Sadly, mostly alcohol, but hey, and people share time with each other, and it's really cool. It's a beautiful thing. Um, but things are slowly changing, and it's something to look forward to. It honestly is. It was a bad situation, but it brought a lot of positive things that we can now appreciate in a way. So that's that. Another thing that came with it, the lack of being connected all the time, is that I was able to start doing a lot of soul searching or introspecting, and I was able to organize. Excuse me. I was able to organize myself better. Um, in a way, take control of time in my life. Now, before you get all excited and you're like, oh, yeah, that means a video every day from now on, kind of. Not really every day, but it will allow me to better prepare myself and better organize myself and distribute my time more effectively because I was able to like sit through everything and think to myself, okay, I would really like to do this and I want 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 to do this, but I never do these things. Why is it that I don't do these things? Oh, because I don't have enough time. Yes, but why don't I have enough time? What has caused me to not have enough time during the 24 hours of the day, of which at least 6 to 8 hours must be reserved for sleeping, right? So I just started thinking about all these things, and I'm just going through all these things that I want, goals that I have, and objectives that I want to complete. And I just started, breaking everything down, what I need to do for each one, what's required of them. And I'm getting to a point where I believe I'm organizing myself better, where I can accommodate work, family, YouTube, and personal time and exercise time because that needs to happen in my life. And then I said personal time already, so hold on. I got a board right here. All right, so I'll just tell you my goals. Let's just go with the goals. All right, so eventually I would like to learn how to draw because I've always wanted to learn how to draw. That's why I had a art contest. I was going to say heart contest, but we had an art contest so that somebody could help me get an icon for the channel, and you guys did, and that's cool. I appreciate that. But I would like to eventually learn how to draw my own things because when I come up with ideas, I want to be able to like put it on paper and or digitally and be able to create and incorporate my concepts and my ideas. So I would like to learn how to draw. I used to play the piano. I lost a lot of it. A lot of it has just perished, and I want to take that back. I want to be able to find a piano and sit on it and be like, yeah, I can play the piano, because a lot of times, when people were playing the guitar, I'm like, oh man, if only I could bring my piano out here and join in, and we can have like this little mini band orchestra under the moonlight with no power. And it could have been, these were things that made me really think. And I want to be able to regain that and go back to that. So I want to relearn my piano. I would like to learn a language. I know right now two languages, yeah, just two languages. I'm not gonna brag. Two languages that I can speak fluently and read fluently and whatever. But I would like to learn more. Eventually, one of my goals is maybe Japanese, maybe Dutch, so that I can communicate in secret with my wife. And physically fit, that's up there. Get healthy and develop my YouTube channel. And develop my YouTube channel means that I can make more content for you guys, and hopefully you guys appreciate it and enjoy it, and we all have fun together. That's what I'm looking for. So I have all this structured out, and I have all the goals and the guidelines, and it's a work in progress. Um, which brings me to my next topic. And with this, we're almost done with my channel update. I want to do things with the channel and share them with you guys and maybe anybody else who comes along. Um, but the main thing of the channel right now is Ruby. I don't have any plans on changing that. So Ruby is going to be the main theme of the channel for now. Um, And I'm thinking about this, and honestly, I have never had any plans of making a YouTube channel. This started off as a couple of friends and me saying like, "Oh, hey, you got to record yourself once you watch this show. We want to see your reaction." And I'm like, "Okay, I can do that. I'll just make a channel and whatever, whatnot." And that's exactly what I did. You go back to my first channel. That's how it all started. I didn't even have a name at the time. My name is what was it I said? Uh, Whoa. Yeah, because the camera, my old Logic cam. Well, no, it was a Microsoft cam. Oh, gosh, I'm having a hard time remembering. It was the Microsoft cam, the cheap VX something, and every time you start recording, it goes white and then just like fixes itself. And then, oh man, memories. Oh, I'm getting flooded by memories. Uh, Whoa. Hey, I made this channel. My name is. I don't know yet. I remember I said that. I don't know yet, but I'll think of something. And then I think by the next episode, I started brainstorming names, and I came up with Charlie Foxtrot, and I just merged it into CharFox, and CharFox. That was my name. That is my name. That's mine. I made it up. But yeah. So, and then you guys start showing up. Hey, this is really cool. I love your reactions. This is so great. Oh, you're so perceptive, and and all these positive things, and you guys are enjoying. And then I start reading particular comments in which you guys are saying like, "Oh, watching you makes me so happy," and "Oh, this is so much fun to watch," and I really enjoy it. And that made me feel like, wow, I'm actually not I'm actually. What I want to say is that people really enjoy what I do, and in a way, I want to be able to give more, and it makes me happy when you guys are happy. So, that's why I feel horrible when I haven't uploaded anything. But honestly, I've developed a plan so that that doesn't happen anymore, so that we can keep something good going on. And it's a work in progress, but I have the outlines, and it's getting there. um so going back to the feelings of people and things like that, it just made me think about a lot of things, and I started coming up with concepts. And I have a sniffling nose because I'm slightly coming out of a mild moment of sickness, so apologies for the but um where was I going? Yes, the channel. So I think about the goals that I want to accomplish. All right, the drawing, the piano, the language, and getting fit, and developing the channel. But developing the channel and then these goals, and I started like thinking of a way to where I can incorporate everything together and get the best of all the worlds in a way. And so I came up with an idea, and this is just concept right now, but this is something that I'm playing with, or trying to flesh out in as far as developing the structure that I'm creating. I'm so stuffy. Am I runny? No, I'm okay. Yes, you're my mirror, the camera. I can see myself here, so uh so I thought about, and I was like, maybe I can do all of it at once. Um Create a schedule that I will force myself to follow, become more self-disciplined and abide by it, and make time for Ruby episodes, right? At least once a week, maybe more if I can. Um and at the same time do some other sub channels, sub categories. Because right now I only have two or three. I got my watch alongs, which is just Ruby. I have my play alongs, which is, oh my god, Star Fox. I'm finishing Star Fox after this video because I don't got anything else to do. I'm gonna finish Star Fox. I got Star Fox. I got Starbound. A little bit of Overwatch. All right, so that's my watch along and my play along. And oh, and it's not really official, but there was a ride along. And when I took you guys in the car, but instead of taking you guys in the car, if in case you might not have pieced it together, which I don't think you could. There was a time where my helmet fell down behind me, and I picked it up, and it's this guy over here. Now he's over here. It's I have a helmet, right? And CharFox, why do you have a helmet? Well, because I ride motorcycle. So so instead of taking you guys in the car, I was thinking maybe we can take you guys in the motorcycle and we can go for a bike ride. So that's something I've been thinking too. I have a GoPro as well. I got a GoPro, so I can strap that on there and put a microphone in there and take you guys with me. Uh, so we can do that. Um, or we can learn things together, which is what I was actually going to say. Um, we can learn things together, like, for example, drawing. We can learn drawing together. Now, one of the reasons I haven't learned drawing is because I don't have anybody to do it with. I might get bored. And if I'm doing something on my own, I kind of like, I feel not overwhelmed, but I feel like, okay, yeah, I gotta do this. All right, fine. Unmotivated. That's the word. I feel unmotivated to learn it, even though deep down inside I really want to learn it because it's something I would like to do, not that I need to do. Then I guess because of that thought, my body is like, it's not really important. Don't waste your resources on this. But if I incorporate it into the channel and start making videos about how to learn, how to learn, learning how to draw, excuse me, learning how to draw. In particular, I would like to learn how to draw um, manga, anime, eventually a form of realistic um, style, sketching as well. I would like to be able to sketch out concepts that come to my mind. And I always found that really cute when, you have notebooks or whatever, and there's like a little chibi character in there and, a quick doodle. My doodles look like crap. So I would like to actually perfect that a little bit and be able to draw pretty and creative things. It's something I would like to do. But anyway, back to the topic. If I were to incorporate this in my channel and actually engage the viewers as we learn something together, because my skill right now is I don't think I have anything here that can show you what my skill level is. I'm not going to draw it either because I actually have to sit and actually sketch out it. It'll take too long. But my skill level is pretty bad, pretty bad, pretty bad, and pretty low. Because I don't have practice under me. I don't have skill as far as developing it. But if we do it together, then it might not feel so bad because, you guys are learning with me, I'm learning with you guys, and we're doing it together. And I think that'll be something cool. I don't think I've been able to find, tutorial on how to draw from somebody that doesn't know how to draw, and everybody's learning together. It sounds bad, but I think this might work because it'll be fun. It won't be intimidating. It won't be like how I sometimes felt when we were in gym or if we were getting instructed by somebody um, for physical fitness or whatever. Usually, the instructor or the artist or whoever, my piano teacher at the time, they're very skilled and they show off. The piano teacher played a song, and like part of me I want to be just like this guy, actually, maybe better. But at the same time, deep down inside, the dark side of us was like, wow, you'll never be that good. You'll never be able to achieve that level of skill. Why bother? I mean, look at you, try to play something. Oh, you suck. Oh, you should give up. Just just let it go. And eventually, it's easy for us to not do anything, so we do tend to let things go. And we're like, well, it's not important right now. And we build something to cover it up. Um, but I believe that if we do it together, it'll be different. Because you guys can see my progress slowly going. I really hope you join in on the Twitter so you can guys show me your progress. Because I'm not really allowed to navigate YouTube. But Twitter might be different. I don't know. I would have to consult this with my moderators. But if we can all do everything together, like we'll work on something on the again, it's just constant. We'll work on something on the video, and then I finish, and boop, there it is. And then you guys can put your result on the Twitter, and we can all share like images. That's what I'm thinking. So drawing, piano lessons, maybe I'll think of a way to incorporate that into a video. Um, and the last one, getting physically fit. I'm seriously debating how to work this into the YouTube channel. And I believe that what I want to do is I want something that you guys can follow in your house. You don't have to go to a gym, you don't have to buy weights, you don't have to do anything. Because when I was in basic training and I got in the best shape of my life, um, we never really went to the gym. It was all done right then and there at the spot at the moment. Somebody's marching out of step. Company, halt. Open ranks. Get down, get down, get down, get down, get down. Ugh. You know? so, so it's something that we can work together and we don't have to get anything. We don't have to get equipment, nothing. And so I'm thinking of maybe either using this camera or the GoPro or something to position it somewhere in the house, maybe the living room. Out here we don't have much space, but the office got taken over by my wife. That's why I got moved into the to the bedroom. But I'm just kidding. Uh, but something that I can record myself, and I'll go through some sequences of exercises, and we'll target particular muscle groups or whatever. And I think it'll be cool because I'm super out of shape right now. Like the best thing is that there's not going to be any running involved. So, but it'll be exercises, maybe calisthenics, maybe some body strength training exercises, and some push-ups and sit-ups and some leg workouts and stuff like that without weights, so that we can get fit. We're not trying to get buff or anything like that, so we don't need additional weights. But something that we can all do in the comfort of our home, in private, except for me, because I'll be there with you guys and whoever else is watching. Um, but you know, it's it's a concept that I have, and that would be the last topic that I have to share with you guys. Um, so yeah, tell me what you think once this video gets uploaded. um, are you interested in the learn alongs or in the workout alongs? Workout along with CharFox. It can work. It can work. We would have to figure out how to properly get it incorporated. But work work out along with CharFox. Yeah, it could work. It could work. For the workout videos, I probably would do them every day. The goal is to get back into shape between now and 3 to 4 months. That's my guideline. At least drop from the 300 pounds, really, because it's terrible. I feel in my heart. My heart is like complaining every now and then. It feels literally like I have a misbeat. Normally I don't feel anything, but every now and then it feels like boop, 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 and then it goes away. And it's concerning. It really is. I don't want that in my life right now. In the morning I wake up and I'm like, oh, I'm so heavy. And yeah, it's just I'm not healthy. I'm not. I've had a tough situation. I tried to do the best I could with what I had, but I honestly feel I could have done maybe better. But now it's time to fix it. Now it's time to undo that and get back in shape, get back in health. Not in shape. Health. Health is the goal here. We're not looking to get ripped. We're not looking to get super buff, but we're looking to lose weight and not have our heart be so overworked trying to pump blood through all these layers of tissue and fat and extra mass that your body doesn't really need. That's my goal here, is to bring health back into our cells. And hey, if you guys are unhealthy too, or slightly overweight, or maybe weigh 300 pounds like this guy, then I hope that you'll join along with me join along with me and work out together with me. And I think it might be cool. That way you don't have to feel by yourself, embarrassed. And the cool thing is, it's not going to be a super fit instructor telling you what to do, slightly intimidating you or not, or encouraging the dark voice inside your head. But it'll be me and out of shape. I have a belly. And I'm very embarrassed to show it on camera. That's why I'm usually sitting and the camera is at a higher angle than the rest of my body. But during these workout videos, since it's going to be for a good cause to get back into health, I'll show you my belly and we'll work out together. And it'll be a good thing. And we'll keep track and progress of everything. So that's one of the things I'm going to do at least every day. Record myself every morning and try to upload it by the next day or whatever so it can be available. So if you want somebody to work out with, just push play and work out with me, whatever we're doing. I'll try to be very, very thorough on what it is exercise that we're going to be doing. I'll think of something. And the draw along, we'll start drawing. We'll learn how to draw. We'll start with manga or anime. Manga is the design. Anime is the actual animation of a manga. So we'll start with manga, how to draw manga, and from scratch with this guy, and we'll just develop our skill over time. That one might be maybe once a week as well. Right along, also maybe once a week. Um, and as far as language, yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna work that into the channel. I'll think of something, but draw and piano too. So draw and getting fit and Ruby right now is what I have in agenda for the channel. Oh, and the ride along, workout, Ruby, and draw. Yeah. So let me know what you think. If you're interested, if you think it's a terrible idea or whatever, I don't know. It's for you guys, honestly. I can do this on my own, but I think I think it'll be nice to have somebody to do it with, and that's what I think about it. And if I'm able to do it with you, I think it'll be extra cool. And if you guys can give feedback on the Twitter and we can or in the YouTube comments. I don't know if you can post pictures in the YouTube comments. I don't think you can. But at least Twitter for the drawing, you can do it. And for the workout, we'll measure each other, we'll put our weights on there, and it'll be a journey of weight loss and health. I think it'll be cool. I have high hopes for this. But yes, that's it for now. Uh, as far as Ruby episodes, once internet comes back online, I will be able to access the shared drive that my moderators and I have. That's where they post all the stuff. I'll start downloading. They have internet. I don't. I don't know why, but it's true. They have internet. I don't. So they've been busy uploading things. They say that they have a lot of things ready once the internet comes back. I recently tweeted that they have a deadline for the power to come back. Not the power, the internet to come back around the 17th, which is a Saturday, I believe. Let me check the calendar here really quick. Yes, the 17th, which is a Saturday. So I'm really excited for that. I'm so excited. That's why I'm recording this right now. Um, and that's it. So thank you so much for joining me for another super long, extensive channel CharFox update video. It's been over an hour. Dang it. But here we are. Um, yeah, those are the plans. Leave your comments below. Let me know. Um, and I can't think of anything else. So I'm gonna go play Star Fox and finish that so that I can get that out of the way. And that's it. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate your support. I just remembered the people from Patreon are. I posted a post on Patreon stating that I wanted all the donations to cease because I wasn't making any YouTube Ruby content. But they turned back around and they said, actually, CharFox, now is the time where we really need to support you. And I don't know how to describe the feelings that I'm getting from that, but it was touching. It was really humbling, and it made me realize, that's why I started coming up with all these concepts that I'm doing for the channel, because I want to be able to give back for that. I don't want to say loyalty, but it's the best word I can come up with right now, with that loyalty and determination that these supporters have provided me with. So, thank you. I truly mean it. I really mean it. Thank you. It's not necessary. I said, hey, let's put a hold on it for now, but they said actually now is when you really need it, and they were there, and they really they really showed their support in a way that I never thought would be possible or to happen or anything like that, you know. It's it's one of those things that makes me realize again why I want to give back so much and come up with all these other concepts of things that I can do for you guys that we can share together because I just want to give back all that support and thank you. I really mean it. Um, those were the $50 that were able to fill up my car when credit card systems were down, when there was no more ATM systems at the stores, where cash only was the only available option. Uh, those were the $50 that you guys provided that I was able to go to the kilometer long line at the banks and withdraw money, and that's what the money that you guys helped to provide with was, and it really meant a lot, and I appreciate that. So thank you. And all right, and I'll leave that there for now. I'll see if I make another update video about the support of the Patreons. But I don't know what to do though. I'll think of something if anything. But we'll leave it here. It's already been an hour. Thank you so much for everything. You guys are awesome, and I really mean it. Here's to hoping that internet comes back soon and I can start uploading these videos. I'm gonna finish Star Fox because it's something I can do right now. There's no internet required. Um, so yeah, thank you so much, and take care. I still remember how to finish. Take care. I gotta get the mouse on the button. Hold on a second. Okay, I'm ready now. Final outro. Here we go. It's been a while. Uh, Thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate everything you do. And until next time, take care. Bye-bye.